This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone. Today we'll see concept of RDQM 3 nodes configuration. Previous video we have seen how to configure replicated data queue managers in 2 nodes. If you configure RDQM in 2 nodes, it will called as RDQM DR configuration, disaster recovery. And if you configure it in 3 nodes, we call it as RDQM HA configuration. Okay, first let us see what are the components we require. First of all, let me create 3 servers in my AWS machine. Oh, let me create a server first. For this minimum, we require 3 servers. Let us assume this is my server one, and I am taking as Red Hat version. Just take my Red Hat version. Let us take Red Hat 8.7. Why? Because I have 9.3.0.2. It is supported by this version. Okay, we can take this one. Okay, we are good. Come down and let me create a key pair for this today. Let me create a key pair first. My key pair name is here for the Zoom today is DQM HL. Get the key pair, launch the instance. Now one server is ready. Similarly, create one more new server. My other server is server 2. These servers should use same OS operating system, including the version. Let me go here. DQM Red Hat 8.7. You're good. Let me use the same key pair once again. I don't want to create new one. RDQM create one more new server. Two servers are ready. Let me create one more new server, third server. This is server 3. I'll create this new one. Now my 3 servers are ready. First, let me copy MQ software to the 3 servers. 9.3 base pack and 9.3.0.2 fixed pack. Okay, we are good. We create a directory MQ 9.3. We first copy the base spec software. And let me copy the new directory fixpack software also. Now we are good. Oh, let me copy to the second server. Now copy the fixpack software also. Similarly, copy the base pack and fix pack to the third server also. My third server is this is my third server. Very good. Easy to iPhone user. Now we can copy this. And after this, let me copy the fixback software. Okay, let me go open the servers one by one. Let me first install the MQ and RDQM packages. What are the packages we require? Let me make somewhat big. the license file, install the required RPMs, whatever RPMs are required, install the RPMs. Oh, meanwhile, let me open the new server. This is server 1. Let me open server 2. Okay, good. Good. Accept the license file. Install the required RPMs, whatever RPMs are required on secondary server, we can install that RPMs. Oh, meanwhile, open third server also. Good. Good. Fine. License file. Install the required RPMs, whatever RPMs are required, install the on third server. Okay. On two servers, MQ is installed successfully. And meanwhile, let me install the fixpack on first server. Home EC2 fixpack -ZXVF, give the fixpack. Okay, RPM. Install the fixpack RPMs on primary server. Oh, let me install similarly on secondary server also. -ZXVF, we can do on the same part. Okay, let me install the RPMs. Whatever RPMs required on the fixpack, install the fixpack RPMs. Secondary server 9.3.0.2. On first server, the base pack is installing. On third server, sorry. On first two servers, fixpack is in progress. Okay. Okay, here also install the fixpack software on third server. Very good. Very good. Oh, install the RPMs on third server. Whatever RPMs are required on third server, install that RPMs. Oh, meanwhile, okay, fixpack is also almost done. Generally, this FT RPMs and this client RPMs, AMS RPMs, if you required, you can install. Otherwise, you can ignore that RPMs. Okay, let me make the first server as primary installation. Still, I have not make it as primary installation. Good. OPT MQM bin. Set MQ INST hyphen I hyphen P slash OPT MQ. Now we are good. Now go to fix pack folder. Home. EC2 fix pack advanced RDQM prerequisites EL18. We have three things will be there as we discussed last video. If you want to install RDQM 2 nodes, 3 nodes, 6 nodes, few things we need to remember. First, we need to install three main packages, like three utilities, we can say. What we need to install? First, we need to install the DRDB utilities. DRDB utilities is mainly used to replicate the data from primary server to secondary servers. And next, we require the KMod. It's mainly kernel level it will be used. And pacemaker. Pacemaker will check which queue manager is running on the three nodes. And finally, RDQM packages. Package. Only one package will be there. MQ series RDQM package will be there. MQ series RDQM package will be there. Okay, let me install one by one. First, go to the secondary server. First, go to DRDB utilities and install all the RPMs. Yum install start.rpm. And I have separately kmod RPMs. I need to bring it out. I have already on three servers. First, go for first server. We have a separately kmod utilities will be there. Let me download this kmod utilities over there. Okay, we are good. Similarly, on two servers also copy the kmod utilities on this server also. Okay, we are good on that part. Okay, first on primary server, DVR is installing. Okay, it's done. Now install the Kmart software. Home easy to user. First unzip that software. Then we are good. Now go to this folder. Now go for 18. We have see the Kmart version. We have seen these are the Kmart versions we have. You name my fana. My Kmart version is my kernel version is 425.19. The latest version we can see 10 is going to support here. Okay, if you don't want, if you see the MOD version, it will give that which one is supporting, it will give that. We can install M command, M install this kmod whatever you required. We are good. So kmod. It will take some time to install this kmod. Now it's completed. Now install the pacemaker. Oh, MEC2 fix pack advanced RDQM prerequisites 18. Go for pacemaker folder. So you can install all the pacemaker, whatever you want to see. You can list that and install all the pacemakers. Once pacemaker is installed, we need to install the MQ series RPMs. RDQM RPMs will be there, but that we need to install after this. We are good. Now next install the home easy to install my MQ. Go for base pack. Server advanced RDQM. First install the base pack RDQM package. And install the home EC2 pack advanced RDQM. Install this one also base pack. Now installation part is completed successfully. RDQM pipe and QA pipe symbol grep. You can check that RDQM package. We are seeing RDQM package is installed. Similarly, same way we install the same packages in secondary server and third server. Now first make media as primary OPT MQM bin set MQINST hyphen I hyphen P slash OPT MQM. We are good on that part. After that, we need to install the first packages. CD advanced RDQM prerequisites. We are good. Okay, we are good. First install the DRDB utilities, whatever you require. Install star.rpm. So let me the third server also let me do same thing. OPT MQM bin set MQINST hyphen I hyphen P. My installation path is OPT MQM. CD advanced RDQM prerequisites E18 go for DRDB tools. Let me install the first DRDB tools. Third server also. Okay, it is going to install. Second server is in progress. Okay, now server is trying to do. Okay, let me see. Very good. Once DRDB installed, we need to install the KMod software. It's done. We are good. Now, home easy to use. Do this one. RIFNZXVF. We are good. Here CD18 KMod. Oh, seems we need to install the 10th one. Install. This is the 10th one which we need to install. We similarly do the same thing in second server also. It is trying to install KMod version. You should be very careful on this KMod version. Whenever the Linux team do some patching activities, at the time the Linux level KMod version need to be updated to the MQ level also. Whenever the Linux team update that patching, automatically the kernel version will change. MQ level also suitable kernel version we need to install all the times. Here also home easy to use array function good go to install, take the 10th version. This 10th version we have to install. Wait some time, and on secondary server KMod is installed successfully. And if you want to find, you can find out, right? Find symbol grep KMod. You can see my KMod is this is the version which we installed on KMod. And after that, install the pacemakers. On fixed, we have this one. Advanced RDQM prerequisites 18. And next, this is the pacemaker. Very good. Install the pacemaker. Install start.rpm. Yeah, kmod is installed as third server also. Now we install the pacemaker home EC2 fix back advanced RDQM prerequisites EAT and pacemaker. You can install the pacemaker. Yum install start.rpm. We are good. We need to install the required RPMs for RDQM RPMs on second server. So EC2 user base pair MQ server advanced RDQM. We can use RPM -IVH MQ series. Now home EC2 user go for the fix pack advanced RDQM. Install the RDQM packages RPM-IVH now which is installed. RPM-QA pipe symbol capital MQ. Oh, we can use RDQM. You can get RDQM packages. We are good on that part. Generally, when you this is trial version, when you install the RDQM packages, you should get as license type as advanced. But I am using trial version, hence I am getting this trial version only. Now here also home EC2 user MQ and series advanced. Okay, we are good on that part. Let me install this also. RPM-IVH MQ series RPM. Fix pack. Home EC2 fix pack advanced RDQM. RPM-IVH MQ series RDQM package is successfully installed. You can find out. We are good on that part. Once the installation is completed on three servers, we install the DRDB utils, KMod, pacemaker, and RDQM packages. Of course, on three servers we installed. Now next, what we need to create? Now next, we need to establish the first of all we need to establish the communication between these three servers. The three servers should have the mutual communication. Okay. For example, this is my server one, this is my server 2, and now this is my server 3. I have three servers. Okay, this is my server 1. Let us assume. Let me keep the IPs clearly. Okay, we are good. This is my server on IP address. This one, my server on IP address. Let me take my server 2 IP address. Instead of public, let me take private IPs. Okay, and let me take the third server IP address also. This is my third server IP address. Okay, we are good on that part. We need to establish the communication between these three servers. Initially, communication will not be there. Generally, that communication, everything will be taken care by the networking team. But anyhow, we can do here directly. Okay, let me go for security groups. Edit inbound rules. Generally, we need to use specific IP. But anyhow, this is my own machine. I am allowing all the traffics. Okay, let me go for second server also. This is server 2. Security is go for this. All traffic and go for third server. We are good on the start server. Okay, communication is established on three servers. Okay, communication is there, and on three servers, now we need to create a volume groups. This is the volume group we need to create here. On server 1, we need to create the volume groups. For example, let us assume this is the volume group. Okay, let us assume this is my volume group. In this volume group only, we are going to save our queue manager data directory, transaction log directory, all these things. Okay, for the volume group directory must ensure that name should be drdb pool. drdb bd pool. drbd, I think drbd only. Let me see. Okay, RDQM drbd pool. Yeah, I think drbd pool. drbd pool. Yeah, correct. drbd pool. On we have to create on with the name. With similarly we need to create volume groups on three servers. These are three different, not the common volume groups. There are three different volume groups. Server 1 should have one volume group, server 2 should have one volume group, and server 3 should have one volume group. All the servers should have the volume groups. Okay, let me make some word big here, otherwise let us assume this is the drbd pool. To create this volume group on other servers also. Okay, one server one volume group is there, and separately we need to create this volume groups. Multi-instance data directory, everything is NFS, network file system, but in RDQM the data will be in physically in the volume group. The local server it is going to be exists. Oh, let me create the volume groups on three servers. Go for volume groups. Create a volume group now. Let me create a volume group here. My volume group, let us assume I'm taking as 15 GB and it is my test thing. Okay, let me create a volume group. One server one, and let me create one more volume group, second volume group. Okay, come down 15 GB and create one more volume group here. Create one more volume group here, 15 GB. Three volume groups are created successfully, and we need to attach these volume groups to the server. Okay, let me add the volume groups attached to the server. Yeah, here it will be there. Attach the volume groups, or let me take it with server 1. Here good. Attach for server 1, and take one more volume group and attach it for the secondary server. Attach the volume and go for server 2. I have one more volume group, third volume group. Attach server 3. Three volume groups are created successfully. Three are attached. If you want, if you have find, we can find by using lsblk command. We can find it out. 15 GB volume group is there, and here also lsblk. List the blocks we can see here also lsblk. Now let me create the volume group with the name of drdb pool. Command, we can use the command to create a volume group. vg create drbd pool, and my path is slash dev slash. You can use this path, whichever it is there. I'm good on that part. Now it is created. Similarly, same command we have to use on two nodes. We are good, we are good. On third node also we can use same command. We can see VGS. It is volume groups are created or not. By using VGS command we can easily find out. Now we can find out volume groups are created. And an important thing after that, we need to add a user HA client group to the MQM group. We have to use the command user mod -a -g HA client to the MQM group. We can use MQM. You can see that should be in the part of MQM. In RDQM, HA client must be in the part of MQM group. Similarly, we can do in the other servers also. Okay, we are good on that part. We can see ID MQM. All the users should have same IDs. MQM ID, HA client ID, everything should be identical on three servers. Okay, now it is created. Volume groups are created, and this volume groups created, and next we created that HA client user into the group. Now next thing is we need to create the queue manager. First of all, we need to create in RDQM concept. First we need to create the queue managers in secondary nodes. For example, my queue manager name, let us assume my queue manager name, let us assume RDQM1. For example, suppose my queue manager name is here RDQM1. First, we need to create the queue managers in secondary nodes. Whenever you create the queue manager, okay, let us try to create the queue managers on these two nodes. Now, let me create. The command used to create the queue managers is go for opt mqm bin, or otherwise you can add the root user into the mqm group. As mqm user also you can create that one. Crt mqm, the command to create the queue managers and replicated with the three node setup. Crt mqm hyphen sxs hyphen sxs and hyphen ss file system. For example, the file system 3072 MB I'm giving. You can create your own file system. For example, if you require 2 GB, you can get 2 GB. Why? Because based on the queue manager usage, we can decide the sizes and we can create. But it's a test server, I'm creating like this. My queue manager name is here, queue manager one. In this way, we can create. Oh, sorry. Before that, we need to add, before creating the queue manager, in all servers, there is a file called rdqm.ini file. You can see here. rdqm.infl. In all these three servers, rdqm.infl, we need to enter the three servers IP address and host names we need to enter. For suppose, let me take a notepad. Let me take the notepad first. Okay, let me take here and for example, I have server 1, server 2, server 3. First server 1, what is my server 1? Let us take my server 1. What is my server 1? What is my host name of server 1? This is my host name of my server 1. And what is the IP address? Host name hyphen I, you can get the IP address. This is the IP address of the second host, okay, first host. And what is, similarly collect the details of the other two hosts also. Host name hyphen I. This is the second server IP address and host name of the second server. Next, server 3. Server 3 details, let us take host name hyphen I. This is the third server host name and IP address of the host third server. We are good. Now, open rdqm.ini file on primary server. First, let me open in primary server. We are good. After that, here you need to mention, you have to add a value called name equal to primary server IP address. You have to provide the first primary server IP address you can provide here. And next you need to provide the IP address. And similarly here, come here, name equal to, we need to provide the secondary server IP address and secondary server host name. Similarly, third node. Now equal to third server IP address and my IP address. This is my host name. Similarly, you need to enter all these details in the other two nodes also. Otherwise, let me do one thing. Let me copy all these things. Here, good. Go for node 2, where mqm. Go for rdqm.ini file. Let me add all the values here. We are good. We are good. We are good. We are good. Check the IPs. Everything is correctly configured or not. Similarly, go to third node, where mqm va rdqm.ini file. Now we can enter these values here. Now we are good on that part. Now we need to bring these three hosts into online. Before creating the queue managers, we need to make all these queue managers into online. The command is rdqm adm-c. Use this command. What is asking? Line number 12 must match the something it is giving. Failure to, okay. What happened? Something wrong we have given. Let me do in this here also rdqm adm-c. Yeah, failure to node 1 has the same value, something we wrongly configured. RDQM.ini. What wrongly we configured? Oh, see, same IPs we provided. That's the wrong. That's the wrong. Host name. 155 is for host 1. What about the second host? Host name hyphen I. 198. Wrongly configured. So you can see this is the 198 I need to provide here. Okay, no issues. Let me change this one. Vi RDQM.ini file. As you can see, we had provided same IP address. That's the problem. Yeah, let me change that host name on 3 nodes. Good. RDQM.ini file. Let me go change this one also here. Change the host name. 198. Now give the command in the 3 nodes. First command RDQM ADM-C. Now the replicating configuring the replicated data systems are going to be created. Once we can give this command in, we have to give this command in 3 nodes. We need to bring these 3 nodes into online. Replicated data subsystems are going to be created. After creating these replicated data subsystems, we can create the queue managers. Yeah, we are good. You can see, right? You can a replicate data should be configured on all replicate. You have to run the same command. The run the command is 198 host or 163 host. Same command we have to execute this command in node 2 also. Before executing, you can use the command rdqm status. Enter rdqm status -n. One is in online, other two are not configured. Now try to execute the same command here. Now you can see RDQM status -n. Two are in online. Now execute same command RDQM ADM-C. Now all the 3 servers subsystems should be in online. Once the online is configured, now you can see RDQM status -n. All are in online. After that, we need to create the queue managers in the secondary node. Okay, already command is there. We can use same. Yeah, you can use the same command. You can opt mqm bin. Go to opt mqm bin and give the command. Same command here. You can use same command and create the queue manager. First, we need to create the queue managers in secondary node and third. Now you can see the queue manager is created now. Status will be unavailable anyhow. Whenever you create the primary queue manager, that primary queue manager data is going to be replicated to the other 2 nodes. Now let me create the queue manage same command in the third node also. Okay, we are good. opt mqm bin, and we can use same command there. We are good. In 2 nodes, we are good to creating of queue managers. Now you can see we are good. Now create the queue managers in primary node. PT. Whenever you create this queue manager in the primary node, in primary node the queue manager will be created. The queue manager data directory, transaction log directory, replication will be happen to the other 2 nodes. Now let me create the queue manager. CRTMQM hyphen S6 hyphen file system. We can use same 3072M. Can use 3072M followed by queue manager name is here RDQM1. In this way we can create. Now the replicated queue managers have been created on 3 nodes. Whenever you create this queue manager, right, what is going to happen? Here our queue manager data directory, for example, it is the queue manager data directory, and this is a transaction log directory. For assume this is my queue manager data directory, and assume this is a transaction log directory. Whenever you created this queue manager, there is a process called DRD. You can see here. See, enabling replicated data queue man. Now it is created. Now you can use the command There is a command called RDQM status hyphen M. My queue manager name is queue manager one. You can see for synchronization in progress, synchronization in progress from primary server to this is for example the IP 190. What is 190 host? This is 163 host. 45% of replication is completed. Here 47% of replication is going to be completed. Total say 59, 67 replication is completed. You can once it is 100% completed, you can see the progress, everything there. What is happening in background? Whenever you created this queue manager, each server we have a process called DRDB pool. Here DRDB pool will be there. Here DRDB pool will be there. And here DRDB pool is going to be there. This is the DRDB pool, separate process for DRBD. Here also DRDB will be there. Here also we have a DRDB process. DRBD. Okay. Anyhow, this DRDB will be tightly coupled each other. Here a DRDB will be there, and here DRDB process will be there separately. Whenever first time you create the queue manager, this queue manager complete queue manager data directory, transaction log directory is going to be replicated to this server and similarly to the third server also. Who is going to replicate this data? DRDB pool is going to replicate the data to primary server and secondary server automatically. Now you can see once the replication is completed, you can see normal 100% is completed. Now you can see the command one queue manager is in running status, other two queue managers it is in running elsewhere status, it is in running elsewhere status. Automatically the replication is completed successfully, and you can use this command. You can use, right, this is the primary node. You can see here it is in primary node. If you see this command rdqm status hyphen m, my queue manager name is rdqm. Okay, this is in secondary node, it is in running elsewhere status. You can say it is normal means replication is completed successfully. Sometimes you see percentage, sometimes you partiality, something problems might be there is a problem. Here also you can see rdqm status hyphen m, my queue manager name is rdqm1. Now this is the 163 host. This is, you can see the 163 host. This is we are good on that, but 190 normal. It is in running elsewhere on 63. It is in secondary host. Now, what happens when my server got rebooted? See, now replicated data queue manager is been completed successfully. The main advantages in three nodes. Whenever if currently my queue manager is running is 155 node, I think. Yeah, it is in 155. If my 155 node queue manager is down, automatically the queue manager is going to be started automatically either in the 160 other to either any one of the node. Why? Because we not decided either it should be started in 163 or it can be started in 198. But why? Because we not decided. You can see here ha control is enabled and ha current location, this node currently this node we have keep it, but we have to keep whether if the queue manager is down, whether you need to start the queue next sequence of the queue manager, whether you want to start on this server or you want to start on this server, you have to decide. If you don't decide, queue manager will take its own control. But we can decide, there is a command we can make it out. If this primary queue manager down, automatically it should go to either server 2 or server 3. You can decide on your own. First, let me how can we decide the nodes, we can see here, or otherwise how to switch the queue managers also you can consider. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me first reboot my server. Already my servers are there. Let me reboot my server in, this is my first server where queue manager is running. Let me go and reboot this server, or we can use the command reboot only directly. Now we have queue manager is running. Let me go for reboot of the server. Okay. Now meanwhile the queue manager is going to start any one of this node automatically. You can see now it's, you can see the queue manager now automatically come to 198 server. You can see, don't reboot two servers at a time. The RDQM HA configuration all the time minimum two queue manage should be active all the times. This is the important point. Now we are good. Let me once the reboot is completed, automatically again the queue manager is going to switch back to its virtual position. Now you can see here. You see here. Now you can see. Yeah, now it is back. Now you can see sudo yes UFR. Once my queue manager, my server is up, again you can see again the rollback is happened automatically to the primary node. Whenever the queue manager got failed, automatic whenever the server is back to the online, the replication again the queue manager will back move to the virtual position. Now I want to switch the queue managers from one node to another node. Sir, I want to manually switch the queue manager. How you can switch the queue managers manually? There is a command called RDQM ADM -M -P. You want to make it as primary -M. My queue manager name is RDQM1 -N. Which queue manager you want to move the server? You want to move to node 2 or node 3? You can execute this command wherever you want. You can execute this command node 1, you want to can execute it node 2 or node 3. Wherever you want, you can execute. No problem, no harm. For example, I want to switch to node 3. Take the host name and copy the host name, which node you want. This is the command to copy this. Now you can see. Now the queue manager is moving. Now you can see. Now the replicated queue manager has set. Now you can say DSPMQ it will go to running elsewhere. Now you can see this queue manager. Now it went to running status automatically. Now you can see RDQM status. I1M, my queue manager name is RDQM. Now you can see this primary node. No, I want to set which is primary, which is secondary. Instead of three nodes, for example, now it is in running status here. Suppose we create the queue manager also here. The data is going to replicate at these three nodes. You can see this queue manager is going to be written here. Now I want to roll back this queue manager the primary node. Either you can execute same command. For example, you have to execute same command. Either you can execute in this host or you can execute in the second host. Second node is also fine. You can use same command. Okay, I want to move this to other IP. For example, I want to move to 155 IP. Take the host name of that particular host and you can just copy the host name there. Give the host name. That's all. Now automatically you can see the queue manager will be moved to this host. You can see RDQM status -M. My queue manager name is queue manager one. You can now I want to set it as two nodes. I want to configure all the times. Whenever the primary queue manager get down, automatically I want to switch the queue manager second, not third node or second node. You can decide that one also. The command is same command. Okay, you can use same command, comma. Now I am in 153, right? Now we are good. Oh, can host name. You can use same command. I want to keep the queue manager here only, and I want to. This is my primary node, and comma separated. You have to keep the secondary node. This is my secondary node. This is my secondary node. Now we can keep the command. Now we can use the command. Now we can see now it is in running status here. RDQM status -M you can see here. Currently, this is the primary node. You can see preferred location. Currently, this is the primary node. If something goes problem, automatically the queue manager is switching to 198 host. You can decide failover queue manager where it should fail over to secondary server or should go to fail third server. You can make it out. In RDQM 3 node configuration, you can make these two queue managers in one data center and you can keep this queue manager other data center even though it is going to work it out. But replication, it will be in same data center to different data center. It 10 to 15 minutes or 20 milliseconds, the replication will be problem. Rest everything is going to be good. If you want, you can keep even that one also, but this is the things which is going to be happen. Okay, we are good on these configurations. The replication is on the floating IP. Generally, in RDQM configurations, we prefer to give the floating IPs. You can see here the floating IP. You can see right. Currently, I don't create the floating IP address. This if you what is the advantage of the floating IP address? The main advantage of the floating IP address, we will combine these three servers into one floating IP, and we will ask application team to connect via floating IP. The floating IP, this combination of three servers will be on the floating IP. Whenever they try to connect to this floating IP, wherever the queue manager is running, they are going to be connected. If that particular queue manager is not available, automatically the floating IP contains the secondary IP address also. Automatically it is going to connect to the second IP address. Even the clients are not aware where the message they are going to keep. The messages and everything will be replicated on the secondary server. The replication is going to happen secondary server. From there, wherever the primary queue manager work gets stopped, that work starts from the secondary server. Because for example, if you have 1,000 messages in this server, the 1,000 messages are in the primary server. In the secondary server also, the 1,000 messages will be replicated. For third server also, 1,000 messages are going to be replicated. Whenever the primary queue manager down, application is going to connect to the secondary node, and it will take the 1,000 messages from the secondary node. Why? Because the copy will be there in the secondary server. In this way, the replication is going to be happen for every 5 milliseconds in same data center. Also, if it different data and maximum will take a millisecond, the replication is going to be happen. No downtime will be there. If you generally in RDQM HA configuration, we'll ask the floating IP. If the primary queue manager down by using the floating IP, the second queue manager, third queue manager, they are going to connect automatically. In this way, how we are going to configure with the RDQM HA configuration. But which I see main disadvantages here, minimum two nodes should be active all the times. If two nodes are down, the third queue manager is not going to work it out. If you go for HA DR configuration, even one node is up, it's going to work it out, but only the downtime. Auto failure is not going to happen. We need to manually, we need to come, we need to make that queue man, we need to start that queue manager, we need to make it as primary, and we need to start that queue manager. But if you go for RDQM HA configurations, auto failures is going to, no manual interaction is required. Automatically the queue manager is going to run on the secondary node or third node, and applications will also move to the secondary node. Why? Because we are using the floating IP here. There is no impact here. In this way, we can configure this RDQM configuration. Okay, thank you guys. If you have any doubts, you can comment in the comment section. I am happy to clear the doubts. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. I'll come with the next session. Next I'll take the next sessions and next videos I'll upload in the video. Keep following the. Bye bye.